Well, good morning from Maryville, Tennessee, just outside the Smoky Mountains here in Tennessee, and it is smoky here this morning. We woke up to smoke and not even sure what is going on with all of that, but it's living up to its name. Hopefully it's not a massive forest fire. There was one just a few years ago here that was really devastating, and so don't know what's going on, but besides that, it's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and I'm excited to spend some time with you all here on the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John. I'm the owner of Kavanaugh Media, and with a partnership here with GNPI, Good News Productions International, out of Joplin, Missouri, we're putting on this live training show. Now, the purpose of this show is a couple reasons why we do this. One is both GNPI and Kavanaugh Media and myself, we have a heart for small teams and small churches who don't have a lot of money, who don't have a ton of resources maybe available to them, and we want to help you leverage media and technology to find those who the Holy Spirit is working in their lives. And so the best way to be able to do that is to provide this live training, for us at least. This is the world that my team and I live in every day, which is leveraging social media and just media in general, technology, to further the gospel. Currently, we're working in well over 70 different countries with about 18 different mission organizations or teams, a part of organizations, as well as some churches here in the United States, just trying to help them the best we can. And so our heart is to help you be able to find those people in your context that are seeking. So this show, the way we do that is we have questions here at the beginning. When people have been sending messages to our team here at Kavanaugh Media and asking questions, we try to answer some of those and then do a segment of live training. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit recorded just so I can blur out sensitive information, because there's over 150, almost 160 some different accounts that we have access to. So we have a lot of data. We are able to see a lot, and I don't want to share those kind of specific types of things. And so I'm going to do my best at times to blur or provide those things out. But today, it's going to be all live, and we're going to walk through Instagram ads is what we're going to look at. And we're going to talk about Instagram ads and why maybe you want to look at those and how they might be able to help you in your Christian media marketing efforts. Next week, just to give you a heads up, is going to be a completely Q&A session. So next week at this same time, Lord willing, on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to just look at the top questions that we're getting, because some of these questions are ones that a lot of people are asking. So the whole about 30-minute episode is going to be a Q&A session. You can send us comments or questions while the show is even going on as well, or send them to us in advance. That's the same thing for today. If you've got a question, if you have any kind of, if you want to give us a thumbs up or whatever, any kind of thing, we love that. All right, so if you're there, if you're watching live, and I know that many of you will watch this from our Kavanaugh Media page later. We have it there available for people, as well as our YouTube channel and GNPI's channel. But if you're watching live and you want to give us a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. If you have a question or a comment, put those in the comment part there as well. All right, let's get started. I want to address the number one question that I've been asked the last few days, and that is this question right here. What does it mean that Facebook Analytics is going away? What does that mean? And I have received a ton of questions from people going, oh, hey, what does that mean? We got an email from Facebook saying that Facebook Analytics is going away. What does that mean? What is the impact for our ministry, for our mission team, for our church, or whatever? All right, so I'm going to share a screen here with you all. I'm going to jump into it just for a second here. And I want you to see, Hopefully this will work. Yeah, here we go. So this is the announcement from them about Facebook Analytics going away. It may be small there on your screen. That's okay. The key thing here is that they are saying it's going here at the end of June, it's going to go away. As with so many things with social media, things can get really blown out of proportion. All right. And so I think this may be one of those that people are getting a little worked up and scared about, and maybe we don't need to be. And yet there's still some stuff we don't know. So as you're looking at the article, if you get the email from them or whatever, it's going to say, all right, this tool of Facebook Analytics is going away. What is that? All right. Well, if you don't even know what it is, then you probably don't need to worry about it, first of all. Secondly, I will tell you that I never use it. All right, I've dove into it, but I don't use it. But let me show you, in case you're curious, what it is or where it is, how you can find it. And so if you go into your Business Manager account, so once you're in there, and this is just a side account that we have, we really don't have anything going on in here, but it's great for training purposes. You'll click on Business Tools, and then when you click through here, you're going to find right here Analytics. And if you click on that Analytics, then it's going to open up a screen that looks like this. Now, in this screen, it's going to tell you how many people. This is information coming from your Pixel. So I think that that's probably driving part of this change. I also think, honestly, very few people use it. In fact, I'm a part of a ton of different groups of marketers, and I don't know of hardly any who tell me that this is important to them. All right, but if you do, or if you're curious, here you go. So there's all sorts of stuff over here. You could look at revenue, you can look at funnels, you can look at breakdowns and journeys and all sorts of stuff. It's visually a really great looking tool, but I found it to be clunky, to be slow, and to really not be useful for what I'm trying to do. And so jump in there if you want, go to your business account and click on the little 9 dots up there, and then scroll down till you find Analytics. Now, what do I like to use? And the answer to that is I like Google Analytics. So I prefer to use Google Analytics for any of the what's happening on my website type of analytics. So your ad analytics are still going to be there. Okay, your ad analytics will still be there. You'll go to Ads Manager. So you get to that by clicking right there in the business tools and clicking on Ads Manager. All right, but then that's what happens on the ad. What happens once they've clicked the ad and gone to your website? That's where analytics is important. And personally, I think Google does a far better job at this. And so we're going to be doing training here starting in a couple of weeks of how you can use Google Analytics to better understand what's happening on your church website or your evangelistic site, your just whatever presence, your web presence that you have, what's happening once people show up there. What pages do they go to? How long are they spending on the site? All of those kind of things. Now, this page I'm showing you right now is just a demo account from Google themselves. But this shows you what the screen looks like so you can see where people are, what channels, and a lot of other really cool information. All right, so I hope that this is going to help you be able to really just relax and understand that the Facebook Analytics tool is going away. It's okay. All right. And if that's a big part of what you do, then I would encourage you to go and learn Google Analytics and use that one. Or there's other ones. There's some open source, some free ones out there. Right? Find a different one then for you. If you're concerned that you may be losing some of your organic insights, I spent about 30 minutes this morning with my Facebook rep, with a tech support person there that once you spend enough money, they'll give you a chat link that you can go to. And so I'm typing with a really nice person there at Facebook this morning and said, hey, what's going to happen to our organic insights once analytics goes away? It's funny. She wrote me back and she said, "What do you mean analytics is going away?" This is your tool and it's going to go away. So I sent her a link to their own press release, and then she said, "Oh well, let me see." And so she reached out to the rest of her teams and she said, "This is really new. We're not sure yet, but we do not believe your organic insights are going to go away." So even when you put just stuff on your Facebook page or your Instagram account, even if it's not an ad, you'll be able to see things like how many people saw it, reach, engagement, how many thumbs up that you got, which, by the way, Alexa, thank you for the thumbs up here just a few minutes ago. So any of those kind of insights, I believe, are still going to be available. So the only thing going away is the actual tool, Facebook Analytics. Facebook also has a new tool called the Business Suite, and from what I'm reading, those insights and organic information will be available there as well. All right. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you can lower your blood pressure a little bit. I hope that it gives you the insights. If I learn something new, then I'll let you know. I'll share that on the show or probably on our podcast, the Christian Media Marketing Podcast, that comes out each week as well. We'll try to tell you about those things so that you're not surprised by them. All right. Let's transition here, and I'm not seeing any questions in the comment box, so I'm going to just keep on going here, and we're going to look at Instagram. All right, and with Instagram, there are so many cool things that you can do with it. There are so many different types of ads that you can do and posts that you can do, and there are certain places in the world where Instagram itself is the predominant social media channel. Now, a couple things before we get into this. Facebook owns Instagram. So there was this point where people were like, "Oh, I don't like Facebook, and I'm switching over to Instagram." All right. Well, Facebook owns Instagram. And then there's this reality that people have more than one Instagram account. I learned this from my sons, that there's Finstas, there's fake Instagram pages. There's ones that people make to show a part of their life, but then there's another one that they use sometimes to show the real them, all right? The unvarnished, the scars and all parts of us. And so I don't know if you have more than one or not. I don't even know if you use Instagram, but if you were to look at mine, you'd get a pretty good idea about the topics that I find interesting and that I search for, and the things that interest me. So fly fishing, amateur radio, technology, climbing, things like that, right? And so my feed has pictures, videos from people that I follow, but then also these ads that show up. And that's what we can take advantage of. And so the demographic for Instagram may be different. All right, may be different. Here's part of the thing, though, before we dive into this. Sometimes I think we look at what we like and we transfer that onto these social media channels. So always let the data, let the analytics guide your movement, what you're doing, your strategy. Because just because maybe you think, I don't like Facebook, or nobody's using Facebook in whatever, in Tennessee or whatever it might be, first of all, check the data. Don't make it anecdotal. If I've had 5 friends say this or whatever, you can see on the audience insights within Facebook how many people are on Facebook. You can also see things about Instagram, and I'll show you how here as we get into it today. I also will tell you that from the data so far, in most locations, Instagram does really well for generating awareness. But it is not the one that drives the private messages. Now, that may be different in your context, okay? So I'm not trying to make a blanket statement for anyone and everywhere, but what I have seen so far is that Instagram does really well with top of funnel just awareness, to let people know. Okay, but as you move further down the funnel, as they're moving from knowing to beginning to like the content, beginning to trust to send messages, we're seeing that sometimes they actually switch over to Facebook. And this is showing itself in the same way with e-commerce, that people are seeing stuff on Instagram, but maybe are making purchases more still on Facebook. So I think that may change over time. Okay, I don't think that that's written in stone forever. But right now, we need to learn how to use this if that is a channel that is important for you. So I'm going to give you some examples here. Let's jump into this one. I want to show you some just examples of different types of Instagram ads that are out there. And probably the most widely known one is photos. And so when you look at a photo ad, it's going to have the name of the account. It's going to say sponsored on it. So that's really the only way you can tell the difference. And then you can have a call to action button. You see in this example here, it's a shop now. These are taken literally from Instagram, from their page. So yours would be something different, like watch more or learn more or send message. But this is the basic one for Instagram, is a picture. And you may find that behind the scenes pictures or different types of ones can help you. Once you create the business account with Instagram and you link it with Facebook, you can begin to see these insights about what pictures, what content did people like or engage with the most. So keep track of that, because that should guide what kind of ones that you are doing. Now, when you create and just put a photo on Instagram, it is possible for you to be able to then just boost it in essence. And if you're just looking for engagement, I guess that's fine. But the method I want to show you today is the one that I use personally, and that's going back into Ads Manager. When you just boost something, your ability to really dive in to the degree that I would like to be able to do is not as much available. And so this is a photo one. This is a basic type of picture and an ad that you can run. Another type are video ads. And on a video ad, you can put up to now 120 seconds. So it used to be 60 seconds. And when I would coach teams and saying making videos, make sure they're less than 60 seconds so that you can use them on Instagram. Well, it looks like they have increased the limit of how long the videos could be. That does not mean that you should put 2-minute long videos on Instagram. In fact, I was just reading this week that the best amount, and it depends on your location and a lot of variables, but when they looked at a broad view, about 15 seconds to 30-second length videos tended to have the highest click-through rate of any ones that are out there. So it's good to keep it in that, I wouldn't recommend going to 2 minutes, but you can. The nice thing is that if your testimony or your clip from a certain media producer is 1 minute and 5 seconds, you're okay, all right? You don't have to scramble and edit it down. You can add text. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with video ads. I really like this example they have here because it's engaging. So maybe you have a video of somebody using the Bible app that you are putting out there, or it could be a small testimony. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this, but you can add text to these videos and calls to action there, as you see in this one, to learn more. By the way, when you're creating these, in the copy of this, the description that you would see, you don't have to put hashtags in them. In fact, they'll tell you, the people that do just Instagram ads, that's all they do, they will tell you to not use hashtags in the ads. Use them on your organic post, but not in your ads. Partly because you've only got so much real estate when it comes to how many characters you can put, how much text you can put on the copy of an Instagram ad. So this is a video ad. I really like them. I love video. Even if it's a still image, just put some movement, bring some words up over it, and you can make a video ad. Here's another one, and this one is a carousel ad. And in a carousel ad, you have a collection of 2 or 3 or more pictures. You can put videos in there. In fact, we're going to create one here in just a little bit. But you can see at the bottom down there, as it's scrolling through, it's showing you how many different pictures are there. And what's really nice about these is that you can tell a story with these. And so you could even have still images that one leads right into the next one, into the next one. And like even the words could cut off and then could go and show up on the next picture. And so as you're swiping through, you begin to tell a story. You can have a storyboard kind of a way of using these. So this is a carousel ad. These are available for Facebook as well. Okay, and so if you've never used one, I would really recommend it. So a carousel ad is another one that can be really good. Let's look at the last one, and these are called story ads. And stories are something that both Facebook and Instagram has that are really growing. And I love them. I think they're really cool. I think they're neat that you can see like on Facebook who has actually, of your friends, of the people who have engaged with you, have seen your story. Right? So you might post something and you don't know. Only the people that have clicked that they like it or commented, you won't know who else has seen it. But with stories, you can. Well, with an Instagram story, this can be a very good tool because I think that the reach on these, the open rate, are really high. And so I would encourage you to look into doing story ads as well. And they'll just show up in the feed as a person is looking at one story of their friend, then your ad, which is targeted, would show up then in between some of these different stories that they're seeing. So the key here is that we want these to really tell a story, to be very engaging, and to be one that looks right for Instagram. Okay, so you want it to be content that makes sense for that place that you're using it and where you're doing it. So let's jump in, and I'm going to try to just do some live training with you, and we're going to create a mock Instagram ad. Now, as we get started, I want you to see one that I saw that I thought, wow, this is really good. I want you to see how they do this usage of the text on it. I'll click play here. So it's talking about how to memorize scripture. All right, and there's some neat music that's happening, and then boom, boom, and boom. She starts touching the screen. These words show up, and then there's great copy over here as well. I'm like, this is good. This is a really engaging piece of content here. And so I watched it. And I thought, wow, this is a really good one. So just to give you an idea of what some could look like. All right, so let's jump in then to that process of how to do that. If you're going to create an Instagram ad, then you would need to go the way you can do it from the app, but what I want to show you today is how to do it from Ads Manager. So you would go into Ads Manager and you're going to click on this green Create button. All right, you're going to click on that green Create button and it will begin this process. I'm going to jump in here and hit Edit on this one. And now we are in what you would have. You're going to see a screen that says, all right, what's your objective? What is your name? All right, so put your name in there. I would encourage you to put what your objective was, put the date, okay, and then choose what type of objective you want to use. So let's say we want to just generate awareness. So you could think, oh, I'm going to do brand awareness, but I never use this one because it's just an estimate of how many people Facebook or Instagram thinks are remembering your content. If I want to do something, if I want a lot of people to see an ad, I'll use reach. But let's say for this one, we want them to learn more and to go to your website and to be able to maybe talk to someone or get a Bible or download something or read more, watch more. So we'd say it was traffic. Okay, and then just like you would with a Facebook ad, we would click that and then we would move forward. The next thing that comes up is going to be your audience and what you're trying to do. Now, as we're doing this, you can see what's the size of your audience and your potential reach is there, what you have. We're going to, right now, we're going to drive traffic to a website. You could do it to an app. You could do it to WhatsApp even. All right, there's different options. And probably won't use dynamic creative, probably don't have an e-commerce offer, but you do need to say this is how much money we're going to spend, either daily or lifetime. And when do you want it to start? When do you want it to stop, possibly? All right. And one thing, as we're moving through this, don't be afraid to hit buttons. Don't be afraid to put your mouse over something and see where it says, oh, well, this means I can run it only at specific times. All right. So right now we're set up to do all of Taiwan, and we're all ages, and I'm doing nothing else over here. So let's come down in here, and I'm going to click Edit. And I'm going to just type in the word Jesus, and it is translated in all the different languages. So I don't have to type in here Yesu to find it. So I would click Jesus, let's say, and this just means people who have shown some sort, they have engaged with or shown some sort of interest in the topic of Jesus. Content that's been out there that Facebook or Instagram believes relates to this. It does not mean it's a positive view of it. Okay, so don't assume here where you see potential reach 590,000 people that it means that there are 590,000 people that are excited about Jesus. Okay, and so that's not what that means. Also, your estimated daily results over here are a guess, really, by Facebook, by Instagram. The more you do it, the more ads you run, the more months that you have been consistently spending money, maybe the better these results will look and more accurate for your results. But this up here of audience definition to me is the key thing that I'm looking at. So we're going to do that. Now here's how, if you just want to do Instagram, to do it. You would click manual placements, and then you just click Instagram. And now you can choose where in Instagram do you want it to go. Do you want it in the Instagram feed? Do you want an Instagram story? There's lots of different types of ones, but we're going to leave it on these two. So Instagram stories and Instagram feed. Now look, when you do this, it's saying we recommend square images and vertical videos. Over here on this one, they're saying we recommend full screen vertical images or videos. There's different types that you can do. Square is fine to do on these as well, but certain things will be cropped as you go through. So we've chosen Instagram feed and Instagram stories, and then we would go down optimizing for link clicks, which means that they will put the ad on Instagram in front of people who are most likely to click on the actual ad. So then let's get into the ad process itself. Now, as you get into it, this is a test account, so it's saying there's no ad account. I know that, but let's jump into it. We'll just base it from my page, from Kavanaugh Media, and I do have an Instagram account. It's not really tied to my business. It is, but I don't use it that way. Okay, so it's more of a personal one. That you would choose your Instagram account that's linked with your business one. All right, so your business there on Instagram. And then you would go down here to create the ad. Now, as we do this, you can use an existing post. All right, so there's different ways to do this, but I want to start with just creating the ad with you. So you could do an ad with just one image or one video, and most of the time, that's what I do. I keep it really simple. But I want to show you today how to do a carousel one of those ones that would work in a story that you're going to swipe left to right, and how you could create one of those. This would be the same for Facebook. If that's where you want to do it, you would just click Facebook here as well. So when you get down into it, this is where you begin to do these carousel cards. All right, and so if you put your mouse over the eye, you can choose the media and enter text for up to 10 carousel cards. Make sure that you have 10 really good ones, or people will just swipe away from it too fast. So on this one, I'm doing a very, very basic. This is nowhere near what I would want to do as an ad. Okay, I'm just putting some content on here to show you. So if I click on this pencil, Here's where I can edit the image, I can change the image, and then this is where the headlines go. So I could type here and I could say, we want to help you. All right, and so then that headline is going to show up. See right down here, and we're going to look at the previews in a second. And so this is not long at this spot. We don't want to put a lot there. We want to help you find seekers in your context. All right, and then you put your website URL. This is important because if you don't have a website URL, then they can't drive traffic to your place. So we want to do that and put that website address in there. This little button here lets you choose a URL parameter. And so you could come in here and just put like Instagram, or you could come through here and you could choose something like the placement or different things like that that will be tagged to this URL up here and will show up in Google Analytics. You don't have to use it, but it's something that I do always with mine to see where the source is and the medium of where people are coming to my website. So this is the first one that would show up there, and then we could come down here. Here's another one, a little picture I've uploaded. We want to help you find seekers in your context. All right, and so we would add that. Here's the URL once again. And then I've done one more here just to show you. Here's a video, and I've actually shot this video and made it a square video as well. For God's glory. And so we could put whatever you want in these headlines or descriptions. Okay, if you have questions on that, as always, put your mouse over it. All right, and it varies, like it's saying here. Some of these things show up depending upon the placement. Okay, so here's the next thing then. As you're doing this, it's going to give you, do you want the best card shown first? So the one that most people are watching. So you could do that. You can also add a card at the end that shows your page profile. You can also then give your copy right here. So we want to help you use media and technology to find seekers in your context. Click learn more to discover how we can help you. All right, so let's just type that in. You can add other things to it. All right, so you can actually A/B test some of your copy if you would want. And then you could put a different URL or a shortened one down here, right here in this display link. Okay, so there's lots of stuff that you can put on there. But since mine's really basic, I won't be doing that on this one. Here's your call to action then. When you click on it, here's the different ones that you can use. Now, I want you to notice something. If you need to scroll down here to see the watch more or send WhatsApp, if that's what your objective is. So don't be afraid to scroll through that to find it. And then we're going to make sure that everything else is set up right, and we would hit the green publish button. If I was to hit the green publish button, this would be the worst ad ever made by Instagram. But I want to show you here what you can look at it to see. So when you're in it, you can see what the feed is going to look like. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to expand it, and now I can see here is the ad, and here's the copy. We want to help you, and when you click on it, here's another picture, find seekers in your context, and then the video shows up. You can put captions with the video as well. So if their sound is turned off, you can, they'll still be able to see what it is your video is saying there. All right, and so this is the Instagram feed, and you can click and see other examples and previews over there, such as your Instagram stories. So here's that one. I'll click on the right button here. We'll hit expand, and here's what your Instagram story would look like. All right, and then if they click here under expand story, that's where it'll automatically swipe across for them. All right, and so they would just swipe up from the bottom. So there you go. That's what that would look like. So I'm going to X out of here, and now I am going to discard all drafts so that we don't have the world's worst ad showing up in out there on people's Instagram feeds. All right, so I hope that helps you. I hope that as we've walked through that today, that will encourage you to try it yourself. Instagram can be a great tool to get in front of many times younger people. It's a great way to leverage your visual content that you have. And so I hope that it is a tool that you will use. All right, a couple things real fast here before you log off. If you have questions or things that you would like for us to address on the show, please send us a message to our Kavanaugh Media page or send it to GMPI and they'll forward it to us. Make comments in the comment box. Reach out to us. Next week, that's the whole show is going to be an Ask Me Anything, a Q&A session that we're going to get into. And then the week after, Lord willing, we will be looking at how to use analytics. Google Analytics to figure out how to leverage that knowledge to make your Christian media marketing even better. Our Christian Media Marketing Podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple and all the ones that are out there. It's a new episode every week. We would love for you to be listening in on that. And we're well over 4,000 people that are listening to it. And it just blows my mind that tribe and how that is growing. And so I would love for you to listen to it. Give us 5 stars if you are. You can subscribe to that. Same thing with this show. We will, after we finish the live one, we're going to put it on our Kavanaugh Media training. And you can watch all the other episodes. This is episode 11 for the live training. For our podcast, we're getting close to 100 episodes of that. And so there's a lot of information. Things are constantly changing, and we want to help you. That's what we do. We're a business's mission. We run ads. We coach. We work with teams all around the world to help them find seekers. And if we can help you, we'd love to be able to do that as well. So take care. Keep pushing forward. Let's make Jesus famous. Thanks for spending some time with us today. I pray the Lord will bless you in all you do to make his son famous. Take care. Bye-bye.